Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby83. Welcome to the Mr. Hornsby83 show. Tonight I'm doing my review of The Predator, the fourth Predator movie in the Predator franchise. Starring, Olivia Munn and Tom Jane, but they weren't really the stars. They were the only two named actors I know from the movie. So, let's get into my review of The Predator, and here's the thing with this movie. I actually liked this movie when I first saw it, because I've seen it twice, and it was the first Predator movie I've seen in theaters. I've never got to see a Predator movie in theaters. But this is the first Predator movie I've seen in theaters. And when I first saw it, I liked it better than Predators. But on the second showing, I'm like, I don't know. I don't like it better than Predators. But anyway, so the movie starts with the fugitive Predator coming to Earth from space. He's being chased by another Predator. It's like a big old battle. Starts out good. It starts out, like the other two Predator movies that were on Earth. I'll say on Earth because Predators was based in like some kind of hunting ground that they took somewhere out of space. I don't know. But, so it starts out with that. The fugitive Predator arrives at Earth. He tries to attack our main character, which was frickin' McKenna. Like I said, I don't know the actor's name. I just know his last name, McKenna. Now, some of the things I liked about this movie, like I said, I liked how it started out. I like how, most of the movie was not that bad. I like some of the characters. Some of the throwbacks I thought were a little forced, though. Like the "You're one beautiful motherfucker" that Olivia Munn says. We saw Keyes' son as well. We'd see them talk about. We see them talking about what happened in 87 and 97, even though Predator 2 came out in I think like 1990, so that was like 7 years prior to 97, but I guess they wanted people to, a lot of movies in the early 90s jumped ahead to late 90s, I think one being was Demolition Man, another being was, I think Judge Dredd, I don't know. So a lot of movies like to jump ahead, several years before they actually, several years before that year happened. Which I don't have a problem with, but, they talked about those situations. There's not really, as far as I know, there's not really no throwbacks to Predators, and the reason why is because, like I said, that took part out in space somewhere. It didn't happen on Earth like the first two Predator movies did. But the first thing I gotta say is, this fugitive Predator is supposed to be the good Predator, bringing us the Predator killer, which I'll talk about that when I get to the end of the movie. But honestly, the fugitive Predator kept killing freaking innocent humans. I mean, he was killing freaking people in that lab where Olivia Munn was. He tried to kill the main character at the beginning. He probably would have tried to kill his son had he, went after him. Another thing that really irritated me about this movie was when the upgrade Predator came to Earth with his hounds. One of them got destroyed, the other one somehow turned good. I don't know why it freaking turned good all of a sudden. Made no sense to me, but honestly, this movie was supposed to have like 4 Predators. 2 villain Predators and 2 that were working with humans. But we didn't get that because all the freaking rewrites and test screenings and blah, 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 blah. You know how that crap turns out. But we had the fugitive Predator and the upgrade Predator. I really liked the look of the upgrade Predator, but there was points in the movie where you could tell the thing was CG. It was total CG. So the big thing is that this fugitive predator is betraying his own kind. Another big thing about this is he's sitting there. You know, they're talking about the next evolutionary step in the human race, which I thought superior athletes were the case. I mean, that's what it was with the first two Predator movies, and even the third Predator movie to an extent. But the main focus on, McKenna's son, with the autism and all that. And look, I'm glad they, bring awareness to autism and that. But the plot of the movie, I just thought was, it kind of threw the plot off. It was too convoluted. Yeah, a lot of kids that do have autism are very smart. But these are warrior races, and they're supposed to be advancing themselves with, special talents guys have. And yeah, being super smart is a special talent that a lot of people have, that humans would have. But, I mean, and another thing too is apparently these predators have been making more frequent visits to Earth because they want to, what was I going to say? They want, because the ozone's getting so bad and it's starting to feel like their homeworld, so they want to, make Earth their home, which makes no sense at all. Another thing about the movie I really didn't care for was, a lot of main characters and all the freaking comedy in it. Now look, yeah, the first Predator movie has some comedy in it. The second one has some comedy in it. But, in fact, Shane Black was the comedy relief in the first one, and then the second one was pretty much Bill Paxton. And, everybody harps on freaking Danny Glover and says, oh, he acts like he wasn't having a good time when he did Predator. I thought he had a great time being a rebellious cop. I mean, especially having to play the, stick by the rules cop that he played in Lethal Weapon, because this was after he'd done the first two Lethal Weapons, because Lethal Weapon 3 came out, like, several years after Predator 2 did. Not too long, like a couple years maybe. But the main character, he acts like he don't even give a crap about these freaking soldiers till the end. He's like, oh, these are the soldiers that people won't remember, blah, 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 blah. But yet the whole freaking movie, except for the one that he became friends with, the whole freaking movie acts like he don't care for the rest of them. He's sitting there, acting like he don't give a crap about any of them, like Tom Jane's character, the guy that does the freaking one commercials, whatever that is. Another thing I thought they should have did, and I'm not big on these love story things in movies, especially action movies that I grew up watching as a kid, but keeping McKenna's wife alive, and, they could have, made Olivia Munn the love interest of the main character, which they really didn't. And yeah, the Predator movies hasn't really done that with a lot of main females and main characters. Because, they were just worried about their team and all that. I mean, they kind of did it in Predators with, what's-his-face's character, with Royce and, that other character, that female character. But, she was a big scientist and all that. She was there to explain things. And the character that Sterling K. Brown played, he acted like he was having more of a better time doing this movie than the freaking main character was. And one of the biggest things I had an issue with this movie is when that guy dies in the first time I watched the movie, I didn't see how he died. I thought like maybe off screen the freaking upgrade Predator killed him, but apparently he blasted himself. And actually, originally, I thought he blasted another person and killed them. But He actually blasted himself in my second showing I seen. He blasted himself in the head, and he died. So, he don't even get to get killed by the Predator. He goes out like a freaking chump. And I know he was supposed to be the main villain, and he was a douchebag and all that stuff, but, you know, when you sit there and you build up a character... I mean, even freaking Keyes in Predator 2 got to go out like, you know... like a real, you know, BA. He didn't go out like a freaking chump and blast himself. I mean, on first showing, you think he goes out, but then he comes back to save her again, and then, you know, the Predator freaking finally kills him with the little... this thing that was really awesome. That was, like, very cool what they did with that. I mean, and then you even look at the freaking... the character that the kid that played her, Topher Grace, played in freaking Predators. He was a total douchebag, but he got to go out. His death served a purpose. He died as a sacrifice. He was like a distraction for Royce and them to take out one of the other Predators, while Royce made a plan to take out the final Predator. He's talking about like, "Come get me," with this Christian Bale Batman voice, but anyway, so, the fact that that guy went out like a total douchebag, even though, I mean, even Carl Weathers' character, he was the douchebag in the first Predator movie. He got to go out heroically. Busey's character went out heroically. Grace's character didn't go out heroically. He went out kind of disgraceful, but his death served a purpose. It was to distract the Predator from Royce and all them. And he wiped out another Predator because old Royce attached a bunch of bombs to him. He's like, "Please don't kill me, no, don't kill me." Anyway, you know, speaking of Topher Grace, he should have just continued playing Eric Foreman, because anything he's done outside of being Eric Foreman has been lame. He was the worst freaking Venom ever. Which, thank God Tom Hardy made up for that in this new Venom movie. Him being in the Predators, I did not like him in the Predators either. And some other movies he's done that haven't really been that good. You should just continue being Eric Foreman or whatever. Kind of like a Saved by the Bell cast member that, you know, still lives off Saved by the Bell. You should just keep living off your, you know, that 70s show run. Because him and the guy that played Kelso both had bad movie careers after this. The only good thing for the guy that played Kelso, he hooked up with Demi Moore eventually. When she was like old, and that's why the Charlie's Angels was trying to stop him in Charlie's Angels. Like, "You should not mess with young guys, Demi Moore." No. But anyway, and the thing that really bothered me the most about this movie is how they freaking beat the Upgrade Predator. I mean, the Upgrade Predator comes in, takes out the freaking fugitive Predator like it's nothing, and looked like a total beast. And then at the end, he freaking gets wiped out, one, by his own weapon, which happened to the Predator in Predator 2. He got wiped out by his own weapon. And then, after that, the main character, McKenna, comes up, says, "What are you?" And then it goes to say something, and he shoots him and tells him to shut up. I'm like, what? This is how you beat this freaking thing you built up through most of this movie. I mean, at least when freaking Schwarzenegger beat the thing, he beat it using his brain and a little bit of his, you know, strength and all that stuff. Huh?
Brain and brawn.
Yeah, brain and brawn. Harrigan was smart enough to take the Predator's own weapon and use it against him. Royce was even smart enough to make sure all the other Predators were wiped out so that he could take down the final Predator so that they could survive. But you get wiped out by your own freaking weapon, really? It's, I don't know, it's just stupid. And it wasn't even his own weapon. It was a weapon from an older model of a Predator. This guy's supposed to be an upgrade. He should be able to adapt to taking hits from that weapon. I mean, everything the freaking fugitive predator threw at him, he just bounced off him. It's like, doo, 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 doo. Boom. Throws him on top of a car, pulls his freaking mask off, punches his face, and kills him that way. But yet, you get killed by an old model weapon. That was the stupidest way to kill a character that you built up through this movie to be a complete beast, and then you make him look like a chump. Kind of like how Sterling K. Brown went out looking like a freaking chump. With his death, killing his own self with the freaking Predator weapon because he couldn't handle it. Another thing that really got me was when Tom Jane and the guy from the commercials, I think it's like Allstate commercials, or not Allstate, State Farm, something like that. He does an insurance commercial. When they're both about to die, you know, Tom Jane's character gets knocked up, you know, into the tree. He's like this, dead. And then, you know, the other guy's down and he's about to die. And they look at each other and nod like, yeah, it's time, and they both shoot each other. They didn't even explain why that guy saved Tom Jane's character instead of saving some of the other platoon that he saved. And I think a lot of our main heroes, you look at the main heroes in the other Predator movies, they went out, you know, it was a lot tougher for the Predators to wipe them out than it was for the Predator to wipe these guys out in this movie. I mean, these guys were flying like frickin', were falling like nothing as soon as that Predator attacked. I mean, you know, it was tough for the Predator in the first Predator movie to take out Schwarzenegger's crew. Schwarzenegger finally decided, I gotta use brain and brawn to beat him. Harrigan, I wouldn't say Harrigan's was harder. He kind of took some of those out easily, Harrigan's team. Royce and the other, you know, outlaws that were there, and even Lawrence Fishburne's character in that movie, it took them a while to wipe him out. And he had been there longer than Royce and them were. And it took them a while to beat him. So for the, you know, and yeah, I know this is an upgraded Predator, but with the way he dies, you'd think he's a freaking jabron. Just picks him off like boom, 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 boom. But anyway, there is one part in the movie I do like. I think it's like Tom Jane, he has like Tourette's, and he like yells out something to Olivia Munn about she's hot or she's sexy or something like that. It was funny. I thought that part was funny. And then he's trying to cover it. She's like, "What'd you say?" He's like, "I didn't say nothing. I said this instead of that." That was pretty funny. And the part where he's trying to rally him to, you know, to go help get his son. A couple of them's like, I don't know, yeah, we'll try. I like Tom Jane's like, I just want to sit here and watch the TV. I will say Tom Jane's character, I thought, out of all the characters, other than Sterling K. Brown's character, I actually like Tom Jane's character the best. And, you know, because his character was a pretty cool character. Pretty funny character because, you know, especially with the part where he's yelling to Olivia Munn. And it was just funny. Oh, I know what it was. He accidentally shouted out, but then he tried to cover it up. He's like, "We want to see your tits," or something like that. And she's like, "What'd you say?" He's like, and then he like tried to make up other things he said when he really said that. That was pretty funny. But you know, a lot of these other characters, yeah, it was too much comedy. I did like the character that did befriend the main character, you know, and explain all the origins of all the other guys. But you know, again, he's one of those ones that went out real easy, like boom. And, you know, the ship's force field killed him, and he was, like, wanting to sacrifice. Well, he sacrificed himself to take out the freaking Predator's, you know, fuel, or his exhaustion pipes, to take those out. So that's why he sacrificed himself. And, you know, like I said, the main character really acted like he didn't care for any of them anyway. But then at the end, he's like, these are the people these guys won't remember. And, you know, it was just a crazy movie. But I will say there was some things about this movie I liked. There were some things I definitely hated about this movie. And, you know, I gotta say, initially I had planned to give this a 3. But when I seen the second showing, I've decided this one deserves a 2 out of 5. Probably, and like I said, at first I thought it was better than Predators, but when I saw the second showing of it, like, this is actually worse than Predators. And Predators, I think I gave a 2.5 or a 3. I think I gave it a 3. So, I gave that a 3. I gave, Predator 2, I think a 4 or 4.5. I gave the first Predator a 5 because, of course that's the best one out of the whole bunch, but, second best to me is the second one, and third is the third. And if I rank the Predator movies, I'd say this was better than the freaking Predator vs. Alien movies because I really didn't care for either one of those movies. Every time I see Alien vs. Predator on, I'm like, oh, I gotta see it. I don't get that feeling when I see that that's on. Now, if I see Predator 1, Predator 2, even Predator, yeah, I'll watch that. But, I don't know. But, anyway, now to some shout outs. But yeah, 2 out of 5 for the Predator. But before I finish out, let me talk about the ending. This whole thing was built up about the fugitive Predator was bringing a Predator killer. Now, a lot of people said Dutch probably isn't going to be in the movie because Schwarzenegger turned it down because it was such a small role. I don't know why they didn't talk to Danny Glover about him being in the movie. But originally, I think Schwarzenegger, Danny Glover, and Royce were all Harrigan, Dutch, and Royce were all supposed to show up to take the guys from this movie to train them to take on more Predators because more Predators were going to be on the way. But, bless you.
Thank you.
But, they decided that the Predator killer would be a freaking Iron Man Predator suit. That's how the movie ends. That's the big cliffhanger for Predator 5. And, the main character's like, oh, I'm going to get me one of those. Make sure there's one of my size. Why couldn't it have been a freaking, why couldn't it have been a, Dutch, Harrigan, or Royce? Why couldn't it have been one of those three guys? I think, though, the best one they should have went with was Dutch. Because in a way, I gotta say, Harrigan, he kinda got lucky beating the Predator in Predator 2. Royce had to trick the other Predator to beat the main Predator in Predators. But Dutch did not have that much of a struggle. He had a plan. He went through with his plan. His plan worked. The thing self-destructed. But if you watch Predators, I think what happened was before it could self-destruct, it got captured by the other Predator race, by the other, members of the Predator race. Took him back. Well, they probably disassembled his, self-destruction thing.
Self-destruction.
And they took him back to space. And with the Predator for Predator 2, that one was definitely dead because Harrigan freaking killed it with its own weapon. But like I said, Harrigan got lucky. And Royce had to, distract it to beat it. And the other Predator movies. So, being that, why couldn't it just been Dutch? Like, maybe like clones of Dutch or, a Dutch, robot or whatever. To be the Predator killer because Dutch was the only one that really bested the Predator. Like I said, Harrigan got kind of lucky. And Royce distracted it to win. But Oh no, 2.5. Not 2.5. 2 out of 5. There was some things about the movie I liked, but I was not a big fan of all the comedy. I know 1 and 2 had a little bit of comedy, but not as much as not as much as this one. And I don't think Predators really had any comedy in it. Might have had a little bit because Walton Goggin was in it. So anyway, so I'm gonna do some shout outs. Then I'm gonna talk about some things I got scheduled on YouTube coming up. Months ago I mentioned something else I didn't mention on my, what would have happened at WCW. Not went out of business in 2001. But first of all, first shout out goes to Black Ops Killer. He just did, 2, 3 Fortnite videos today. Heavy Metal Turtle, he's been on this kick of making, painting characters at our strip clubs. He's got Deadpool 1, a Turtles 1, and Jason at a strip club. Well, if Jason Voorhees was at a strip club, he'd probably freaking kill all the strippers anyway. Deadpool, he'd probably get excited about it. And the Turtles, I don't know what they would do. But anyway, also Elite Best 3, give him a shout out as well. Actually, I give a shout out to somebody that's been getting a lot of hate lately, and I'll probably do a video talking about all these other YouTubers that are attacking other YouTubers. I haven't been attacked by any other YouTubers that I know of anyway, but I'm going to talk about some of these YouTubers that attack some other YouTubers. I'm going to give a shout out to Zach Cox. A lot of people think he's a clickbaiter. I've watched a lot of his videos. A lot of videos he does, yeah, it takes him a while to get to his point, but what he's advertising, he talks about. He freaking does not clickbait, and he gives correct information. It's not like he's out there coming up with these crazy, outrageous theories about freaking Nico Bellic being dead, or freaking doing the freaking other nonsense, like, talking about, I got GTA 6 early. Like some freaking other people, Fernando, and a couple other freaking dumb kids that are like, oh, I got GTA 6 early. GTA 6 is probably still in development and probably won't be out till either later this year or early next year. Maybe even later next year, who knows. But really, honestly, I don't know why Zach Cox is getting so much heat when he actually is an informal channel. And that's kind of like my channel. It's kind of informal. It's kind of, so you could say sometimes I'm entertaining and sometimes I'm just boring as a robot. But, also I give a shout out to the Being the Elite channel. I watch it, every week when they show it. Also like Dark Myth Hunters and that. And Ollie43. I haven't given Ollie43 a shout out before, I don't think. But yeah, that's pretty much it for shout outs. Now for what I got planned this coming week. Which tomorrow I gotta call my cousin Brandon and see what weekday he's off this week. Because me and him's gonna do a live stream from Crunch Fitness in Newport. And speaking of, my gym, early in the week things were okay, but then some things happened late in the week that just really, changed my schedule, so I'm not going to say what, because there were some personal things that went on. But anyway. But me and my wife also just celebrated our 16-year anniversary on January 10th. My Aunt Donna had a birthday that same day, and I'm just now wishing her a happy birthday. I'm sorry about that, Aunt Donna.
Aw, you're such a mean nephew.
And the contest has to go on longer because people still have not freaking answered the question. I made it so easy. I even slipped up and said my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. But on Facebook Live. But anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. So, me and my cousin Brandon are going to do a video for Crunch Fitness in Newport. This week, though, I plan to have a straight-up good week. don't want nothing getting in my way of what I got set for a goal. But, when I did early in the week, did have a good return to the gym. I mean, I did pretty good. I got sore on my calves real bad, but, that happens when you freaking are inconsistent in the gym for, I guess you could say, it wasn't really 3 years because it was the end of 2016. I didn't work out much. Then I started early 2017 and, became totally inconsistent with that because of schooling and all that. But that's the same reason why it was late 2016 when I, kind of slacked off. And then last year, so much freaking bad things happened. I just couldn't handle the freaking weight of, dealing with all that and then dealing with going to the gym all the freaking time, especially walking out in freezing cold weathers, which I did. I think it was like Wednesday when I went to the gym. It was freaking, felt like below zero out there. I'm going to continue doing it. I'm totally devoted. I got things going, and if we're only going to like the flea market to try to get our business going twice a year, that'll give me a lot of time to not only, get my focus back on the gym workout a lot, but give me time to get some other new stock, which, by the way, you can go on my TryGen Facebook page. I haven't deleted it yet because I'm waiting for somebody to win this contest before I freaking delete it. So so that'll give me plenty of time to get some new stuff. Now, if you want to go on TryGen Toys before I delete the Facebook stuff, before I start the website, just leave a comment saying what you would want me to have the next time I'm at Richwood. If things don't go well this time at Richwood like they did in October, then more than likely I'll probably freaking be going to Treasure Isles. The reason why I say Treasure Isles is because for the prices I'm charging, where I'll be for stuff I have that the places at Trader's World would have, Trader's World charges a lot of high prices on a lot of stuff they shouldn't be freaking charging high prices on. And it really annoys me. But also I'm going to be doing the WCW title in 1999. A lot of people talk about how many freaking times the title switched hands in 2000, but they don't talk about how many times it switched hands in 99. Especially one thing that really ticked me off, and it really irritated me when it happened, with the certain wrestler's title reign being a blink of the eyes and then you miss it. If you blink your eyes, you miss it. But I'll talk about that when I talk about that in that video. I'm also not happy my freaking Colts lost tonight. Not only did they lose, they got blown out 31-13. But, you know what? Dallas Cowboys got put out too, so I was happy to see that because, you know what's worse than a Dallas Cowboys fan? A Bengals fan. So I was glad Dallas got put out because Bengals fans and Cowboys fans are in the same freaking boat. And that's probably why a lot of freaking Bengals fans like the freaking Cowboys because they're about as delusional as Bengals fans. And anyway, so some things I didn't talk about with what would have happened at WCW not went out of business. I'm only going to touch on 2 things. I really should have mentioned it in that video, but would Bischoff, if he got control and bought the company and became the owner of it, would he have learned from the mistakes he made that led to them almost being bought out had they survived? And where would they be right now if they did survive? I'd say, like I said, I'd probably say in the same situation Impact is. You know, people every year reporting that they're going to die, but then they find a way to survive, which is something Impact's done for like, 15, 16 years now, maybe 17, I don't know. But, you know, So maybe that's where they might have been. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornby83. I'm still trying to figure out a platform to do like some of my live stuff and commentaries and that, where I won't freaking get in trouble for whatever freaking reason, or my page won't automatically get deleted after I've been doing this thing for 3 freaking years. Anyway, Jesus, Sean. But yeah, that'll do it. When I find out when my cousin Brandon's gonna freaking be off on a weekday this coming week, me and him's gonna go to Newport Crunch Fitness and do a live stream. You're gonna see me working out. Now I'm gonna be doing lightweight because, you know, before I was inconsistent, I was lifting heavy. I was starting to look really good because I had dropped a lot of weight, and I was really looking really good. I was getting jacked up, but when I got inconsistent, I, gained some weight back in here, and a lot of that had to do with drinking crap like freaking Diet Mountain Dew. I stopped eating as healthy as I was when I first started doing all this. So I fixed all that, and hopefully by the time, at least by the end of May, by the time that hits, I'm back to where I was in 2011, 2012, and somewhat of 2013. And then, so yeah. That'll do it for this one. Catch you guys later. Peace out.